Hari Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunatu Sahaviryan Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we will start with our recitation of the verses of Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadhiradi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam Chintamani Prakara Satma Sukalpa Vriksha Laksha Viteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahma Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Venum Kvanantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Barhavatam Samasita Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Alola Chandra Kalasadvanamalya Vamshi Ratna Gadam Pranaya Keli Kala Vilasam Shyamam Tribanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vriti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhaktau Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Pantastu Koti Satavatsara Sampragamyo Vayoratapi Manaso Munipungavanam Sopyasti Yat Prapadasinya Vichintya Tattve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ekopi Asara Chait Jagadanda Kotim Ya Chaktirasti Jagadanda Chayaya Danta Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yad Bhava Bhavitadiyo Manujastataiva Samprapya Rupa Mahima Sanayana Bhusha Shuktayameva Nigama Pratitaistuvanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabis Tavirya Eva Nicharupa Tayakalabi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shyama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ramadi Murti Shukalani Yamena Tishtan Nanavatara Makarod Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti Kotishvashesha Vasudhadi Vibhuti Bhinam Tad Brahmanishkalamanandam Ashesha Bhutam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Maya Hiyasya Jagadanda Satani Sute Traigunya Tadvishaya Veda Vitayamana Sattva Valambi Parasatvam Vishuddha Sattvam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ananda Chinmaya Rasatmadaya Manasu Ya Praninam Pratipalam Smaratam Upetya Lilaitena Bhuvagnani Jayati Ajashram Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Golokanam Nijadam Nitale Chatasya Devi Mahesha Haridama Suteshu Teshu Tete Prabhava Nichaya Vihitaschayena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Srishti Stiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Vibhati Durga Ichanurupam Apiyasya Chachishtate Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Kshiram Yadada Divikara Vishesha Yogat Sanjayate Nahitata Pritakasti Heto Yasambhutam Apitata Samupaiti Karyat Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Deeparchireva Hidasantaramabhupetya Deepayate Vivrita Hetu Samana Dharma Yastadrikeva Hicha Vishnu Taya Vibhati Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yatkaranarna Vajale Bhajati Sma Yoga Nidramananda Jagadanda Saroma Kupa Adara Shakti Magalambya Param Swamurtim Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yasyaika Nishvasita Kala Matavalambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanatha Vishnur Mahansa Ihayasya Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Basvanyatasma Sakaleshu Nijeshu Teja Sviyam Kiyat Prakatayatyapi Tattva Tatra Brahmaya Esha Jagadanda Vidhana Karta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yat Padapala Vayugam Vinidaya Kumbha Vandre Pranama Samaye Saganadiracha Vignan Vihantu Malamasya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Adir Mahiga Ganamambu Maruddhishascha Kalastatatma Manasiti Jagatrayani Yasmad Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishanti Yamcha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yachakshuresha Savita Sakalagrahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teja Yasyagyaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Dharmo Tapapa Nichayashu Tayastapamsi Brahmadikita Patagavadayascha Jiva Yadatamatra Vibhava Prakata Prabhava Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yastvendra Gopa Matavendra Mahosvakarma Bandhanurupa Palabhajanam Atanoti Karmani Nirdahati Kintu Cha Bhakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yam Krodha Kama Sahaja Pranayadi Biti Vatsalya Moha Guru Gaurava Sevya Bhavai Sanchintya Tasya Sadrishim Tanum Apurvete Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataraho Druma Bhumis Chintamani Ganamai Toyam Amritam Kataganam Natyam Gamanam Apivamshi Priya Saki Chitanandam Jyoti Param Apitat Ashwadyam Apicha Sayatra Kshirabdi Shravati Surabhibhyascha Sumaham Nimesharda Va Vrajati Nahi Yatrapi Samaya Vajashveta Dvipam Tamaham Iha Golokam Itiyam Vidantaste Shantakshiti Virala Chara Katipaye. Shri Brahma Samhita ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So we continue with text 7 to 9, Shakti Tattva, Krishna's energies. Text 7, the masculine and feminine principle. The Lord as enjoyer is never separated from his internal energy. As the Purusha, he enjoys with his internal energy, and when desiring to create the universes, he releases his energy of time to carry out the creation. Brahma Samhita 5.7.
So he enjoys, and when he desires to create, he releases his energy of time. And he continues to enjoy. So his energy is working automatically. Because his Krishna is Satya Sankalpa, just his desire is enough.
Okay. But will the Lord not become contaminated like the Jiva by enjoying with his material energy? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur asserts that the relationship of the Purusha Avatara with the inert material energy is not direct, but indirect. Even in casting his glance, he has no contact with the deluding energy, because the spiritual chit potency, Rama, then carries the function of his glance as his unpolluted, ever-submissive potency. The deluding energy, as the maidservant of the spiritual chit potency, Rama, serves the manifested plenary portion of Godhead consorted with Rama. The time energy representing the force of activity and instrumentality of Rama. Hence there is found the process of masculinity or the creative force. Brahma Samhita, purport 5.7. In other words, only Kala Purusha, the personified time factor, unites with the inner material energy. The Lord is not controlled by Maya. He is served by her. Only the Jivas, under the influence of the material world, are deluded by Maya. So, Yepanopru, you explain very nicely how the Lord, he continued to enjoy eternally with his eternal spiritual consort, Rama Devi, but through one of his energies, namely time, he
agitates the material energy, Prakriti, and then
Yes.
Prakriti becomes agitated and turns into Mahatattva, the next stage, and then becomes fully manifested. So the whole meaning of all these technical paragraphs here is that Krishna is, well, not just Krishna, but the Purusha. It's transcendental, that's all. He's not in direct contact. And even if he's in direct contact, he's still transcendental. But he's not. He's contact through his expansion. The halo of his glance, the reflection of his glance.
So we, the living entities, we can become influenced by the
Yes.
deluding energy, as it is called here, but Krishna will never become deluded by his energy.
There is a verse from, yes, there is a verse from first canto, 11th chapter, verse 38, which says, Etat ishanam ishasya prakritisto pitad gunai na yujyate sadatma stai yatha buddhistat ashraya. This is the divinity of the personality of Godhead. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities.
So the Lord is always transcendental.
And the devotees.
So
the conditioned souls are conditioned souls.
Okay.
Yeah. Want to say something?
I was thinking that he is the cause of the whole material creation, but actually, in a sense, indirectly.
Yeah. Udasinavat. He is seated as if neutral.
Neutral, yes. Nice. Okay. In other words, we read this one.
One may also ask.
Yes. One may also ask, how can the creation of the material universe take place without the influence of the Lord? Jiva Goswami answers, it takes place simply by Lord's desire to create. So that's enough. And thus, the Lord discharges time in order to create the universe. Due to the Lord's manifesting this desire and the subsequent discharge of time, the universe is created, but he remains enjoying with Rama. Digdarshani Tika 5.7. So the Lord desires, I think Krishna had one name, which is Satya Sankalpa. It means that every of his desires becomes immediately a reality. Like we may desire something, it may become a fact, it may not become a fact. But the moment Krishna desires something, his achintya, inconceivable energies immediately create this for his pleasure. So the moment Krishna desires, and then Jiva Goswami is saying he releases this energy of time. In other words, this is the beginning of the things starts mixing in the material world. Gradually the creation is manifested. Thus the material world makes its appearance only by the influence of the Lord's time energy. Moreover, the external potency is not permanently manifest, because she enters into the Purusha Avatara at the time of cosmic annihilation. Exactly how Bhagavan indirectly comes in contact with Maya is described in the next verse. Text 8. The seed of creation. Rama, under the control of the Lord, is self-manifesting and dear to the Lord. The Lord's eternal form called Shambhu, whose body is consciousness, is represented figuratively by the lingam, and the inferior energy, a portion of Rama, is represented by the yoni. Shambhu develops the desire to see Maya for creating the universes and Mahat Tattva, the transformation of Prakriti, after being injected with the Jivas. Then appears as the seed of creation. The secondary process of association with Maya is described in this verse. Sankarshan, possessed of creative desire, is the subjective portion of Krishna, taking the initiative in bringing about the birth of the mundane world. Lying in the causal water as the primal Purusha Avatara, he cast his glance toward Maya, the limited potency. Such glance is the efficient cause of the mundane creation. Shambhu, the symbol of masculine mundane procreation, is the dim halo of this reflected effulgence.
So this reflected effulgence from the glance of the Lord. So this is Shambhu, this is the principle of time. So the whole idea is that it is indirect. Krishna is not directly, even Sankarshan or Mahavishnu, is not directly involved. He is not directly involved with somebody who is just glancing upon. You didn't touch the person, you're just glancing. Just look at him. So this is the idea. Indirect.
So first the Lord desires, then releases the energy of time, and then glances the material nature. And the effulgence of this glance,
I think,
is Shambhu.
Yeah, I think the reflected, the halo reflection. Yeah. But I think, yeah, anyway.
Shambhu, the symbol of masculine mundane procreation, is the dim halo of this reflected effulgence. Halo means like a light.
Yeah, it's like when you see this, how they paint the saints in the churches.
Aura.
So like, yeah.
Aura. It is this symbol which is applied to the organ of generation of Maya, the shadow of Rama, or the divine potency. Brahma Samhita purport 5.8.
So, Ramakrishna, Lakshminarayan, and Sankarshan and Rama, they expand as Shiva and Durga. And from Shiva and Durga, the whole population appears. That's the idea. The bodies of all material living entities disappear through them.
Shambhu is again, Shambhu is glance. A reflection of glance or
I think.
okay.
And time also. And the jivas, they're together injected.
Yes, I think now we'll get a little bit more clarification of this not so clear moment. In other words, the Shambhu Linga generative capacity is the semblance of reflected light of Sankarshan glance. So Shambhu is a semblance of reflected light of Sankarshan glance.
Because the glance of the Lord is light. For us, if we want to see something, there should be sunshine, basically, or electricity. Krishna's glance, he's the light itself.
Is the electricity. He's the original.
He's the origin of the
light.
sun, the Brahma Jyoti, everything. So he's.
It is that which unites with the shadow of Rama Shakti. In light of this, some scriptures depict Shiva and Shakti, Durga, as the cause of the world. Jiva Goswami explains why such passages are found. They are described as such in a figurative way, in which they are the particular limbs of the Purusha, similar to Lord being described as the figurative universal form. This verse describes Vishnu in this way. Vishnu Purana says, Yasya Yasyau Yutam Samshe Vishva Shaktir Idyam Stita. The power involved in creating the universe is situated as 100 million portion of a portion of the Lord. So this is Shambhu. This is Shambhu. 100 million portion of a portion of the Lord. The power to involved in creating the universe. This, according to this statement of the Vishnu Purana, the portion for producing the material world is called Shambhu, another name of Vishnu. He is an Amsha or Linga, a representative of the soul of the universe, the Purusha, who has become indistinct, being covered by his bodily effulgence, and who, in turn, is an Amsha of Govinda. It should be understood that this form is different from the Shiva described in verse 45. Kshiram yata dati vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahitata pritakasti hetu. So what is described now, this Shambhu, this semblance of reflected light of Sankarshan's glance, is different from Shiva that is going to be described as one of the demigods in the universe, as one of the Guna avatars in charge for the mode of ignorance. These are different manifestations. The way of making his appearance is completely different. Tik Darshani Tika 5.8, and we have a note 10. This form of Shiva described later is not Vishnu Tattva. He is known as follows: Shiva Shakti Yukta Shashvat Trilingo Guna Samvritaha. The Shiva who is united with the illusory potency remains covered by three types of false ego, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also gives the following purport. There is an extremely confidential consideration here. The desire of Purusha engages in the act of creation after accepting the aspects of the instrumental cause and the ingredient cause. Here, Maya, the female receptive potency, acts as the instrumental cause, while Shambhu, the male generative capacity, acts as the ingredient cause, Upadana. The Purusha who acts according to his own sweet will is Mahavishnu. The ingredient principle, Pradana, is the ingredient cause, Upadana. The respective principle, Prakriti, is Maya. The creator,
receptive principle,
receptive principle,
receives,
is Maya. The creator of the material universe and the cause of the union of the other two principles is Sri Krishna's partial expansion, the Purusha, or the principle of desire. These three, Pradhan, Prakriti, and Purusha, constitute the agents of creation. The process of the appearance of Shambhu is recorded in the 10th and 15th shlokas. You want to mention something about these different causes?
So we spoke about the different causes. These are the material cause and the efficient cause here, basically, they are discussed. So material cause means the ingredients, it means the material elements. And the efficient cause means the reason or the person who put all this together, who used them as ingredients to build a house, or in this case, to establish the universe. So the creator of the material universe and the cause of the union of the other two principles is Krishna, and his partial expansions as Purusha, Sankarshan Mahavishnu. Here it's mentioned the principle of desire. This refers to, I believe,
the Purusha who acts according to his own sweet will.
Yes.
This is Mahavishnu. This is the Purusha.
And the other two, they appear, the Shambhu, the male generative capacity, and Maya, they appear as subordinate in fulfilling the desire of the Lord, who remains transcendental, and he doesn't personally take part in this.
Other words, Krishna is there and create two energy, and they unite.
Yes. And this is how the creation begins.
And in the Mahavishnu,
Yes.
he is Purusha.
Yes.
Source of this.
So the glance is Shambhu, and the expansion of Ramadevi is material energy.
Okay.
So they have their own pastimes, lila, and this is how material energy appears, material creation appears. But Krishna, he enjoys with his internal potence.
But Shambhu is Krishna, or Vishnu, or Shiva, because before we said
Yeah. So
Shiva means, but sometimes explanation is Shiva.
can be Jiva Tattva,
Shambhu.
yeah, Shiva. Rudras, they can be Jiva Tattva, they can be.
But this is different from what
But
we're
this is-
describing now.
Yeah. But this what we describe now is the glance of
This is not Shiva.
The semblance of the reflected light of Sankarshan.
It's slightly different from the Shiva described later, from this Rudra that we know from the spiritual.
There are, now we will see also a little later, we will read few interesting verses. There are like different manifestations of these personalities, like we call them demigods, like generally we call Shiva demigod, but he is more than demigod, because apart from his manifestations in the universe, he has few other manifestations, and it will be described. So this is, we could say, something like the
Yeah, because some misunderstanding. Some people called Shambhu Shiva means imminent. I mean, this glance and Shiva.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
you
It's
can
not
use
correct.
no, you can use the same. It's like yesterday we were speaking about the Vaikuntha planets.
I understand.
Are Vaikuntha planets part of Goloka, or they are separate from Goloka? Well, it depends from which direction you will look at it. So sometimes you can call, yes, Shambhu is Shiva.
Glance of Krishna, I mean Vishnu is Shiva. Same time it is not Shiva.
Yeah, they're different Shivas.
Different manifestations of Shiva, you could say. So that's why I said now it will be mentioned, some other manifestations of Shiva. It's like, what kind of example we can give?
Just like with the material.
For example, a kid is learning about the material world, very small kid, and then father bring him to some very nice clear water, and he gives him just to drink little water, and the kid is like, wow, it's amazing, very nice, very tasty. What is this, father? The father is saying, oh, this is called water. this you can drink. Then great, wow, amazing. Then they go to the sea, and then the kid is looking, wow, this is water. So this,
I can drink.
so he goes and he drinks. Salty, so like. But Father, you told me this is water I can drink. Well, yes, but no. So basically, you are expanding your knowledge. Yes, there are different kinds of water. So in the same way, there are different kinds of manifestation of Shiva. Like we can say this is like, we have Sadashiva, who is in the spiritual world, which is basically no different from Sankarshan, from Mahavishnu. But that's why we say to Advaita Acharya, he is Mahavishnu and Sadashiva at the same time. But then we have the glance of Mahavishnu, who is this dim halo, not completely clear effulgence, semblance of reflected light of Sankarshan's glance. And then later we'll have describe the prototype Shiva demigod, who is, the universe is not yet created, but he is already there created with Vishnu. So he exists before the universe being created. And then once the universe is created, this original prototype demigod expands and enters into the universe in different places and plays different roles. Like the 11 Rudras, and Shiva is one of them, and so on and so on. So it looks like it's more complicated than the picture that we created in our mind just by reading few verses here.
But that's normal. Therefore we update the map all the time. We also have some idea about Krishna, but this has to be developed. Now we think we know something about Krishna, but this has to change in the future when we have deeper realizations. Another example came to mind. Let's say you have a girl, and then who is she? She is the mother of this boy, or she's the daughter of her father, or she's the wife of the husband, or she's the sister of her brother. Which one? It's all of them. So sometimes we just
depends from the perspective,
who's looking
from the point,
and what is the relationship. So yeah, we have to expand as much as possible our understanding.
And at the same time, we should always remember that the energies of Krishna are achintya. They're inconceivable for our.
Because these people can start fighting. They can, no, she's my sister. No, she's my father. She's my mom. No, she's my daughter.
But she is Shakti of what? Yes.
Shiva is the Shakti of the Lord.
He's expansion of the Lord.
Is expansion.
Yeah, and his wife is the expansion of the Shakti, the internal Shakti. So his expansion of the Shakti man, and Durga is the expansion of the Shakti.
So it's not entirely correct to say that he's just a Shakti.
No, because he's Ishvara. He's the masculine principle.
His expansion of
The masculine.
That's why some of the
We all Shaktis, but this is the masculine expansion. Here was mentioned a few times. He's the masculine, mundane procreation principle, or something like that.
But Durga, I mean, material energy is Shakti.
Yeah.
Eternal energy.
some of the acharyas, who was that was saying that to, how's it? I don't remember exactly, but something like to minimize the position of Shiva is kind of,
It's offensive.
it's offense.
Yeah.
Yes. To say, oh, Vishnu, he's like the real God, and Shiva like nobody is actually offensive, because Shiva is...
It's also Ishvara. He's almost
Yes.
Vishnu.
But at the same time, we can see
So that's Shiva.
Nama Aparata, if you consider
the names.
of the Lord Krishna is Shiva and is
the demigod Shiva.
Okay.
On the other hand, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita we learn that Shiva and Durga can give liberation also. Because Vishnu gave them this blessing. But when
Because you're talking very soft.
but when Narada Muni was praising Shiva because of this, he became embarrassed and he said, devotees don't like to hear that because they want to hear only that Vishnu gives liberation. Therefore this so-called blessing is actually not such a big deal. Because devotees don't like this.
It's okay? Okay, text 9. The offspring of Shiva and Shakti. Thus the living entities, bodies, make their appearance by the portion of Vishnu, impregnating Prakriti, and are known as her offspring. Brahma Samhita. So here, Shambhu,
So they are her
or Shiva,
offspring,
is
not Lakshmi's offspring. We are offspring of Durga Devi, Shiva, as in our bodies. So we don't claim that we are. Yeah.
so the living entities' bodies make their appearance by the portion of Vishnu, impregnating Prakriti. So Shiva Shambhu here is called portion of Vishnu. It would be interesting to see maybe you can bring the book from upstairs, Brahma Samhita, but I guess the word is Amsha. So Amsha is like Vishnu is Amsha of Krishna. And here Shiva is known as portion of Vishnu. Okay. All the living entities in the mundane world are of the nature of the embodiment of the mundane masculine linga and feminine generative organs, yoni. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Okay, we'll skip this one because it's not very relevant for the discussion. Jiva Goswami anticipates potential doubts. The scriptures dedicated to Shiva describe this operation as independent of Vishnu, out of ignorance of the full details. The present verse continues the previous description with the understanding that only Vishnu performs this task. So in other words, Vishnu is the person who is doing the creation, but he is doing it indirectly. But it's not correct that someone says, no, in this and this scripture it is said that actually Shiva, he is the supreme and he is creating the material world. Yes, but Shiva is completely dependent on Vishnu, on the desire of Vishnu. He takes his power from Vishnu. That's why sometimes when people they say, but no, Shiva, he is like independent controller. But in Shastra we have so many examples and proofs how Shiva is not independent. Shiva is not independent. Shiva is praying for power to Krishna. Like 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have the song of Shiva. Shiva is praying to Krishna, to Vishnu. And we have examples where Shiva and Krishna are fighting. And Krishna is always the winner. We have examples where the weapons of Narayana and Shiva are fighting. And the weapon of Narayana is the winner. We have examples how Shiva wants to see the special form of Krishna as Mohini Murti. And this form is so powerful that even Shiva, the greatest of all yogis, Yogeshwara, he basically, yeah, he comes under illusion. Of course, acharyas are explaining this is not the material illusion, it's the spiritual illusion. But still, it comes to prove that Shiva is the master, Shiva is the servant of Vishnu, and Vishnu is the real master. So Shiva is doing all these amazing tasks, like he is drinking poison from the milk ocean, he is creating the world, but he is doing all this just as a service to Vishnu, and he is getting his powers to do it from Vishnu. He is not independent controller in this sense. Okay, so these were verses 7 to 9. They were dealing with Shakti Tattva, how the material world is created under the influence of Shiva, Shambhu, and shadow of Rama. Yeah, so let's see text 9. Which word is used? It's just interesting to see. Atmaka, Atmika, the embodiment. So Shiva is the embodiment of Vishnu. Atmika. Atmika, Atma. He's the Atma of Vishnu. Atma means his own self. Okay. So now we continue with texts 10 to 17. Vishnu Tattva, Shiva Tattva, and the Guna avatars. Shambhu and the Lord are non-different. Okay, we are getting it straight, directly. This powerful Purusha, who assumes an indistinct form, is actually the Supreme Lord. Having appeared with an indistinct form, Shambhu, Mahavishnu then appeared with a distinct form as the master of all living entities in the universe. Brahma Samhita 5.10. In Bhagavatamrita 1.2.27, we learn that sometimes a jiva takes the role of Shiva. Sometimes Shiva is born from Lord Brahma's forehead. Sometimes from Vishnu's forehead, and sometimes is expanded from Sankarshan for the purpose of devastation. In this context, however, the discussion is about Sadashiva, also known as Adi Shiva, who is Vishnu Tattva. Okay. So here we are getting examples how there are so many different manifestations of Shiva. But the original Shiva, who is known as Adi Shiva or Sadashiva.
So the Shambhu is actually Sadashiva.
Yes, and he is Vishnu Tattva. Who is Vishnu Tattva? The Acharyas explain that Mahavishnu becomes covered with effulgence at the time of placing the jivas in Prakriti, and thus his form becomes indistinct at that time. This is called Linga. Srila Jiva Goswami clarifies the position as follows. The first line replies to those with misconceptions, and after that, the second line again makes a distinction between the distinctly manifested form of Mahavishnu and his indistinct form called Shambhu. So the same personality has two different forms. A distinct form, this is the Mahavishnu, and indistinct form, which is like a effulgence, this dim halo, which is Shambhu or Shiva. Therefore, he who produces the material realm and who is but an Amsha of Mahavishnu, okay, so it's confirmed, he is Amsha of Mahavishnu, is part of Mahavishnu, is still called the powerful Purusha, the great Lord, having assumed a subtle form, Shambhu, then appeared with a distinct form, because he alone is distinct as the master of all exalted and the created jivas of this universe. Digdarshani Tika 5.10. To shed further light on this complex tattva, it is worth quoting from Baladeva Vidyabhushana's commentary to Lagu Bhagavatamrita, Saranga Rangada, where the present Brahma Samhita verse is directly discussed. This is also a little bit complicated. Bhagavan Shambhu is the expansion of Svayam Rupa Krishna. He is called the Linga or representation of Krishna. Vishvakosha says, Lingachine Numane Cha. Linga means a sign or inference. Bhagavan refers to the Lord of Vaikuntha endowed with the 6 powers. Shambhu means he who creates good fortune. Appearing as Sankarshan in the second Vyuha, he creates the bodies for the jivas who were previously merged in Prakriti. Thus he is called Shambhu. So he gives good fortune to the living entities. He gives a new opportunity to the living entities to fulfill their material desires and to become purified and to develop desire to go back to the spiritual world. So that's why he is known as Shambhu, he who creates good fortune. Thus he is called Shambhu. His form is knowledge or consciousness, Jyoti Rupa. By Shambhu being under Krishna's control, being his linga, Krishna's position is Swayam Rupa. Krishna's position as Swayam Rupa can be understood just as one can understand a bull by seeing his distinctive Del Lap. What is Del Lap? Okay. Because Krishna is the Swayam Rupa with Shambhu, Mahavishnu, as his Vilasa form. Shambhu is called Linga, or his representative. She, who is the material cause, Upadana, consisting of Mahat Tattva and other elements, Yoni, is called the inferior Shakti, matter made of 3 gunas. The Mahat Tattva, Bijam, is the result of Krishna's Amsha, Sankarshan, Mahavishnu, desiring to glance upon Maya. So when Krishna desires to glance upon Maya, the initial pradhana, where everything is there but it's not active, and because of the desire of Vishnu, in the form of glance, the time energy, this pradhan starts acting and becomes Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is Prakriti endowed with the unlimited jivas. So through the glance of Mahavishnu, jivas are again put in the womb, in yoni, in material energy. The offspring of Maya, bodies of the jivas, arise from the combination of the glance of Sankarshan, who is called Linga, and Maya, Yoni. Though the offspring are said to belong to Prakriti, Maheshwari, this is a secondary meaning, since she is dependent on Sankarshan for the creation of bodies. The Purusha, possessor of Shakti or Maya, Shaktiman, the expansion of Krishna, Linga Rupi, is called Maheshvara, the Great Lord. Sankarshan, Mahavishnu, appeared as the controller of Prakriti, given charge by Krishna. Lingye. Saranga Rangada 1-32. It's clear?
It's quite clear, it's a very simple concept. Everything is so clear. Just Krishna doesn't do it personally. His glance is a personality also, Vishnu Tattva. Through his glance all the jivas enter into material energy, and because of their desires, material energy reciprocates by awarding them different types of bodies to fulfill their desires.
And Shiva is not independent from the original Krishna, and Maya is also not independent. Even if sometimes people say that, oh, but actually she is the mother of the living entities. Yes,
indirectly.
She is, but again, she is not.
Therefore Krishna says, Maya Gyakshena.
Under my
glance.
Yes. Under my guidance. Yes. Nice. Okay. Okay, maybe 2 more verses we can read. Text 11. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Sahasraksha Sahasrapat, Sahasra Bahir Vishvatma, Sahasramsha Sahasrasyu. This form of Mahavishnu, the soul of the universe, creates countless universes because he has countless avatar forms within the universes. He is said to have countless heads, countless eyes, countless feet, and countless arms. This shloka, whose first line matches the first verse of Purusha Sukta, glorifies Karanodakashai Vishnu, the source of all incarnations within the material world. Jiva Goswami elaborates as follows. The word 1,000 means that he has countless expansions everywhere, not just 1,000. Second canto describes this form. Karanarnavashai Vishnu is the first incarnation of the Supreme Lord, and he is the master of eternal time, space, cause and effects, mind, the elements, the material ego, the modes of nature, the senses, the universal form of the Lord, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and the sum total of all living beings, both moving and non-moving. The commentary of Sridhar Swami says that the first Purusha Avatara of the Supreme Lord, for putting Prakriti in motion, a form for carrying out pastimes, is the person who is described in the scriptures as having 1,000 heads. So this is one understanding why Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapat. Because the expansions of Krishna are everywhere, especially this form, Mahavishnu. He is present everywhere through so many different incarnations. That's why Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapat. In text 12, Yoga Nidra, the divine sleep of Mahavishnu. The Supreme Lord is called Narayana because the waters of the Karana ocean arise from his eternal form. Narayana is no different from Sankarshan. This Mahavishnu lies in Yoga Nidra, in this ocean. Countless avatars reside in him. So these are synonyms. Narayana, Sankarshan, Mahavishnu, the same personality. This verse explains more about the position of Karanodakashaya Vishnu and his activities, or lack thereof. Shiva Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains, Yoga Nidra, divine sleep, is spoken of as ecstatic trance, which is of the nature of the bliss of the true subjective personality. The above mentioned Rama Devi is Yoga Nidra in the form of Yoga Maya. As will become evident in future verses, it is called Nidra or sleep because Vishnu is indifferent to the material world. Secondly, it is called Yoga because he is blissfully absorbed in his spiritual pastimes. So Yoga Nidra means he is sleeping in a sense, he is not interested in what's happening in the material world, but rather he is focused on what's happening in the spiritual world. That's why Yoga Nidra. Jiva Goswami comments on this verse as follows. The water known as the ocean of the Karna water appears from Narayana. This water is non-different from Narayana or Sankarshan. This means that this form lying on the Karna ocean is a portion or amsha of Sankarshan of the Chaturvyuha, situated as Avarana, protective deities in Goloka. So you remember when we were describing Goloka, Shvetadvip was like a square around Goloka, and then there were the four forms of Chaturvyuha, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. So this Mahavishnu is expansion of this Sankarshan there. Amsha of Sankarshan of the Chaturvyuha, situated as Avarana, protective deities in Goloka. His activity is described as Yoga Nidra, being completely absorbed in the bliss derived from his spiritual form. The derivation of the word Narayana is as follows. The word Apa and Nara are synonyms for water. Rasoham apso apa, apso kanteya. I am the taste of the water, is saying Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So apa and Nara means water. Since the waters are considered the sons of Nara, the primeval male or Mahavishnu, since these waters take shelter, ayana, of Mahavishnu from the ancient past, he is called Nara Ayana, the shelter of the waters. Vishnu Purana 146. So Nara means water and Ayana to take shelter. Waters take shelter of Mahavishnu from ancient times. This is the meaning of Narayana.
What is the substance in this water?
What is the substance of this water?
It's liquid Brahma Jyoti.
Liquid Brahma Jyoti. Sometimes they say this is the Viraja river, the river between material and spiritual world, and Ganga also, because when the Vamanadev is piercing the coverings of the universe, this water is entering into the universe inside as the Ganges river. We can go take bath by the mercy of Ganga and by the mercy of Bharat Maharaj, because he brought, not Bharat Maharaj, Bhagirath Maharaj, who brought Ganga on the earth. Okay, so we'll stop a little bit earlier and we will continue. So Monday, no classes. Tuesday, in person, online, whatever is possible. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi.